Well, it's been a very interesting day today. It's Friday, April 3rd, and it started out rainy this morning, quite heavy rain, and a temperature of 6 degrees. And you'll never guess what temperature it is right now. At 5:30 in the afternoon, it's 22.5 degrees. Wow, it's crazy. And I just wanted to come out here late this afternoon to show you how things look. Since I do cover weather on this channel, I thought it would be interesting just to talk about the changes today that we've had. Now, they're not going to last for very long. It's going to cool down again in a couple days, but it's been glorious today while it's lasted. I'm just going to head down into our sand pit, take a look at the ponds. As you can see, we still have snow kicking around the edges here. These are areas that were over 2 feet thick, and so they're still here at about a foot depth now, these areas. The snow really accumulates here, I think because of the leeward winds of the pine plantation. We had another nice surprise this morning as I went around on my morning dog walk. I got my first tree swallows back for the farm. I saw 5 of them together at once. There may be more here than that overall, but I saw 5 down at the south field where the main nesting is occurring. So they were really nice to see. After many months of absence, the tree swallows have returned. One of my favorite birds for sure. They're just so beautiful. So I'm just cruising into the pit here, going around the old pond. And we'll take a look at that to see how it is. So here's the old pond, and as you can see, the water levels have come up quite a bit. Last summer, at the end of the summer, this was totally dry, as was the other pond. So you can see that the water levels have come up quite well due to the heavy snows we've had this winter and the melting, and we've also had some pretty good rains of late too. And they're forecasting us to get 1 to 2 inches of rain tomorrow night. So that'll be good. Bring up the water levels. Okay, we're just heading towards the new pond. Not that it's that new anymore, but head out here and take a look. And I'm hearing tree swallows out here too. I haven't seen them yet, but I can hear them calling. They may be up in the front field where they nest, but they will nest down here too. Typically this blue box by the pond here has tree swallows in it each year. So there's the new pond, and you can see it's come up a long ways. It was totally dry too at the end of the fall last year, so really nice to see the waters back again. Man, this feels good. I can't stress enough how good this feels. For those of you in the audience who don't really experience winter very much, if you're in the southern states, it's really a relief here in Canada when the winter ends, especially a winter like this one, which has been more of a traditional winter. I really need this sunlight to get vitamin D. I have a feeling I'm probably pretty low on vitamin D this year. I never had any trips to the south or anything, and typically over the last few months I've always had long sleeve shirts on because of the cold, big coats and things like that. So the only part of me that's ever gotten sun is my face, and I guess that can build up a little vitamin D, but probably far better to get your arms involved and your legs if possible. I haven't had shorts on yet today, although I could have wore shorts. And I should have gotten out for a bike ride, at least a small one, but I've been busy doing other things, cleaning out birdhouses. Took the dogs for a walk up on the KMP today, this afternoon, and now I'm just out here recording the weather. It's been pretty windy most of today, from this morning right through till now. Still blowing from the southwest, bringing in that nice warm air. And I think tonight it's supposed to go down to 2 degrees and then only a high of 7 tomorrow, but that's when the rain comes, the heavier rain, starting around noon apparently, and then going through till mid-evening or something. So anyhow, this has given us a nice taste of spring to come, and it's just going to be a battle for a while between the northern cold air and the southern warm air, and they're fighting it out right over us, so that's why we're getting a lot of these storms coming through the area. And here's the central pond. Got a fair amount of water in it, which is good. I'm just sitting here beside the central pond in our pit, and when we get a decent amount of rain or have a good amount of spring runoff, this area holds quite a bit of water, and it's a good place for breeding frogs as well. We get chorus frogs and spring peepers, not only in here but the other ponds as well. And then overall we'll also get bullfrogs and green frogs and wood frogs and toads. So it's a pretty nice busy area. Now I don't know how it's going to be this year because it was so dry last fall. It may be that a lot of the frogs, like green frogs and bullfrogs, had to move elsewhere, or they may have even died. So I'm not sure how many of those are going to come back. But the spring peepers and the chorus frogs I've already heard. I can hear chorus frogs off to my northwest here. This is one of the large open areas down in the bottom of the pit. And when we first came here, the whole pit was almost like this, just devoid of most vegetation and trees and shrubs, mostly just bare sands. And you can see even here on this flat area, we have various grasses and sedges now. But this open area had been nested in by killdeers most of the years we've lived here. Last year they came and looked at it for a while and then seemed to depart, and I don't think they had any successful nesting, but most of the other years they did. I think one of the difficulties is that the edge of this pit is now growing in with trees and shrubs, as you can see in the background. And they're sort of encroaching out to the edges of these open areas. And maybe if I kept them cut back better, the killdeers would feel more at home, because they like to be in the open, really. They don't like to have trees, and therefore various predators probably skulking around more out to where their nest sites would be. Things like skunks and raccoons and coyotes and foxes and things like that would be maybe less reluctant to come out into the more purely open areas. Oh boy, what a feeling. And yesterday my hands were almost frozen as I walked along the cat trail. How things can change. You can see how these young white pines are just growing everywhere, encroaching into the more open areas. And I have been cutting a lot of those out from year to year, just to try to make sure we have some open areas left, because those open areas are liked by a lot of different species as well. And if we just let this go unabated, we'll get a young forest regenerating down here, which is okay in its own right, but it's kind of nice to have some open areas as well maintained. So imagine this 20 years ago or more now, and none of these trees were out here. It was basically just all blow sand. Maybe a few of the larger cottonwoods that you can see out there were young saplings, but that's about it. And most of this area that looks to be vegetated with this grayish brown grass and sedge mixture. It was all blow sand, just pure sand. It's amazing how things change. Okay, I'll just walk up this sand hill here and head over to our front field to take a look at that. That's where I'm hearing my tree swallows. They may be there now or they may not be, but we'll just go see. I've also had my American kestrels return. So both today and yesterday I've been out cleaning up my birdhouses. And I've cleaned out the kestrel houses except for one because there was a red squirrel in it. And it might have young, I'm not sure. Small glacier remaining here on the side of the sand pit hill. So here's one of my kestrel boxes that I cleaned out yesterday, and I put new pine shavings in it, about 2 to 3 inches deep. Hopefully something will use it. And just walking through my regeneration zone here, I call it, I guess. This is where I have some of the native grasses planted: Indian grass, switchgrass, big blue stem, little blue stem, butterfly weed. I've got a few jack pines in the background here that I will probably have to start thinning because they're really seeding in here in the sandy conditions. They really like it. You can see all the pine cones here on the jack pine. They do well here on the sandy soils. I can see my American kestrel sitting out on the hydro wire in the front field here, so I probably won't walk out there. I don't really want to disturb it at this time when they're thinking of setting up shop, perhaps in my front field box. I cleaned that one out yesterday too, and this is the one they probably like more than any of the other ones because it's in a more open area with less trees. And right now, for a month or two at least, they can feed easily in the front field because it's got very short grass, and they can probably see the mice easier. Later on, as that grass grows, I think they have to forage further away or just concentrate on insects, which they do a lot of anyhow through the summer months. They eat a lot of bugs, different insects, dragonflies, things like that, as well as mice and occasionally birds. But during the summer months, I think they stay off of the birds for the most part and concentrate on insects and small rodents. Anyhow, there's a distant view of the front field. I always love these red cedars. We've got a fair number on our property. When you go south of here onto the Napanee limestone plain, you get hundreds and thousands of these covering big acreages. But here, as you get further north, they become less common and more scattered. But we still have probably, of the ones I know of, maybe 50 or so on the property, ranging in size from this, which is like about 20 feet tall, from down to shrubs to bigger trees. I should mention too that over the last few days we've had quite a few bluebirds returning, so those are really nice to see. They're already looking at my bird boxes, just trying to stake out ones that they may like to nest in, so that's always a good feeling when you see them come back. Here's some of my yucca plants, which are spreading around. It's amazing how these do so well here when they're actually a desert plant. And I know deserts can get very cold at night too, but here we can get weeks of -20 and -30 and they still survive. You can see this one here bloomed last year. It's still got its bloom stalks attached. I just like them here in this location. They give it a bit of a tropical feel, which I like. So as you can see, the stockpile of wood in our woodshed is really low. Got to get cutting wood again shortly. Quite a bit of wood to cut. And the cats are out in the catio enjoying the beautiful weather. I'd love to let them wander free, and I may eventually do that to a degree. I don't know. I just don't really want them out killing everything. There's Tabby. Hey Tabby, how are you? And there's Blackie, or Scrappy. Hey bud. And Tony's back here. sitting up on his perch. Hi, Tony. Probably ready to come in here. They've been out most of the day. You want to go in? I guess you do, eh? Let's go see if we can find Cleo, the mother cat. At least I think that's what I'm going to call her, Cleo. Oh, I think I see her back there in the hay. Oh, what a nice cat, eh? Yeah. Here's old Colby. I think he's 20 years old now. We couldn't believe it. We were talking about that the other day. I think we got him when he was about 8 years old. Here comes little Buster. Hey, bud.
There you are, up here. Up here. Oh, what a nice cat. What a nice kitty. Over here. Come on. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this once feral cat has become quite a lovey-dovey. She loves her daily petting and now gets quite used to me rubbing her belly. Even she'll roll over on her back and give me her belly to rub.
Hey, Kiwi. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That feels good, eh, kitty?
yeah.